The UK City of Culture in 2017. People who are part of the city's cultural scene say that they have what it takes to beat off the other contenders. As Crispin Rolfe reports, the city is bouncing back from an unsuccessful bid 4 years ago.
From Larkin's Toads to creative spaces and heritage. Last time round in 2009, simply not enough to make Hull the UK's City of Culture.
So basically, the news is that Hull and East Yorkshire haven't been shortlisted.
But the beat goes on. Today, Hull bidding for the 2017 title now that it has more to offer. The bid backed by a new cultural investment, a recording studio promoting local bands.
Such a ridiculous amount of talent. It needs to be invested in, it needs to be helped, and we can make some bands out there because they're just, a lot of them are fantastic.
There's a very big industry here and a lot of people dependent on it, and it could be a future path to help the economic vibrancy of the region.
Well, becoming City of Culture 2013 has certainly helped Londonderry, touted this year as the place to be. So what does Hull have to do to enjoy similar benefits?
Everyone has to be behind the bid, from the arts organisations through to the council. What would it bring to the city that would have a real impact? And thirdly, I think you've got to come up with imaginative ideas that catch the eye, obviously. So I think if those three ingredients are part of Hull's bid, they'd stand a very good chance.
So who does Hull have to vie with culturally in order to make the shortlist in June? Well, they'll be up against Aberdeen, a joint bid from Portsmouth and Southampton, and also places like Leicester and Hastings. At stake, a massive boost to tourism and places like the Ferrans Art Gallery.
Last year, 12 events in total brought about 1 million people into the city, and that can generate, £10 million into the local economy. So it's big money and it's big employment prospects.
Either way, exclusive artwork and Hull's now annual Freedom Festival are already part of a strategy to create thousands of new local jobs. They're being named as the UK's next City of Culture would be a significant boost. Crispin Rolfe, BBC Look North.
2017 could transform Hull's economy and bring a lasting legacy to the area. That's according to civic leaders in Derry, which is this year's City of Culture. Hosting the event could cost the Northern Irish city up to £25 million. But Liverpool, another former winner, says it benefited to the tune of £800 million. Well, as Hull prepares to submit its bid, our business correspondent Paul Murphy has been to Derry to look at the impact it's had on the community there. His report contains some flash photography.
The detail is being closely guarded, but we're told that Hull's City of Culture bid will build on recent successes.
If you look at the number of people that have come to see the Da Vinci exhibition and the Hockney exhibition in Hull and how much wealth that's generated in the city, it's quite remarkable. And if we can build on that, double, triple it, we'd be very happy.
They were certainly happy in Londonderry when they won City of Culture 2013. 100 days into the year, and they say they're already noticing a change.
Well, I think if you look at the history of the most successful cities of culture, you look at Glasgow, you look at Liverpool, and I'm hoping by the end of this year you look at Derry, Londonderry as well. And they're probably all, in a way, cities that had the most to gain in terms of perception change.
And that perception is rooted in a troubled history. Still haunted by the memory of Bloody Sunday, reminders of that violent past are hard to escape. But with those days now largely over, Derry is using its cultural heritage to powerful effect. It's about changing the entire image of the city. And the feeling is that if it can be done here, it can be done in Hull. Derry's business community has taken the lead. Investment at this restaurant, its walls lined with local art, is creating new jobs.
Think outside the box, do something different, and take the culture of the town and put it into your business. And basically this is very much what we've done. We've taken the culture of Derry and we've installed it in our business, and we've shown people what Derry has to offer. And like people, retailers in Hull, one thing we'll have to do very much the same.
So this exhibition is an example of the kind of international collaboration.
City of Culture status has given many businesses and attractions here a world stage for publicity.
We have 4 times the number of visitors to our first City of Culture exhibition. Someone flew in from Austria to see an exhibition, someone flew in from Scotland to see an exhibition. And I mean, for us, that was unheard of previous to this year. So there's a real momentum.
And as that momentum grips this city, Derry says Hull must prepare for transformation. Hull has staged big events, including the Freedom Festival, but a year-long programme is something very different.
You do get the economic spin-off, you get new investment, you get transformation, physical and visual transformation in the infrastructure of the place, and you get a lasting legacy both from the infrastructure but also from the access and participation of local people.
It's perhaps not surprising to hear that a delegation from Hull has already been here. And you can be sure that as the rivalry hots up between all 11 bidding cities, there'll be many other visitors on their way. Paul Murphy, BBC Look North, Derry.
Of culture, it was regarded as a bit of a rank outsider, but now the odds on winning the title have been cut at the same time as the city's art scene has received a big boost. Leanne Brown has this.
Art. It's perhaps not what Hull is well known for, but that could be about to change, as the city has just been given £3 million by the Arts Council.
People in the city, they're going to see new work, they're going to see new opportunities to get involved in making work across all art forms. They're going to see new spaces popping up, but also bringing national and international artists to the city to work with practitioners and communities here.
Interest in the arts is steadily growing here. Tens of thousands of people came to see the Larkin Toads, which were dotted around the city. And the Freedom Festival, a mixture of street theatre, music and comedy, is now in its 6th year. But it seems Hull City's promotion to the Premier League has further boosted the city's appeal. In fact, the bookies have lowered the odds for Hull to become the UK's City of Culture from 14 to 1 down to 6 to 1. But there's still a long way to go. Chester is out in front at 4 to 1. It's hoped the extra cash will improve and strengthen what's already here.
At the moment we're standing in the heart of the old fruit market in Humber Street, and here there's lots of different businesses and community organisations working in the old fruit sheds, making amazing things happen. There's a jeweller's, there's a venue called Fruit, there's a recording studio called Fruit Trade Studios, art galleries, Museum of Club Culture, all sorts of things happens here.
But artists like Rob say more needs to be done to keep talent local.
We have a great School of Art and Design in Hull. Loads of graduates leave every year and they all go to other cities where there's an infrastructure to support them, where they've got those sorts of career opportunities. So if there could be some investment in persuading those people that there is something worthwhile staying for in Hull in terms of galleries and workshops and residencies and business opportunities, that would be fantastic.
So it's hoped the funds will help paint a better picture of the area. Leanne.
Season. Now, the City of Hull has unveiled detailed plans for a multi-million-pound bid to win UK City of Culture 2017. It's been claimed that winning the coveted status would bring about long-term improvements for the city's economy. And as our business correspondent Paul Murphy reports, the bid is trying to focus on the changing image of Hull.
There is an old and insulting saying about escaping from Hull, Hell and Halifax. This morning it received a symbolic spray-over as Hull launched its City of Culture bid. In a warehouse in the former fruit market, the details of Hull 2017 were shared over breakfast.
Well, Hull's got all the characteristics for this. It's got serious issues that it needs to deal with, challenges it needs to overcome, but it's got the cultural capacity and the energy to be believable as a UK city of culture.
Hull's 2017 bid is the most ambitious project of its kind to be launched in the city. If successful, it would see investment of around £11 million. There are plans for 1,500 events throughout the community, 25 festivals and at least 12 artist residencies. Now, it's no coincidence that this bid has been launched here in the city's fruit market, an area where regeneration is being brought about by using the cultural industries. It's creating real opportunities here. And the hope is that in 2017, this process can take place on a grand scale. It'll mean building on success stories like the Freedom Festival and the exhibitions of Da Vinci and David Hockney, which brought visitors in their thousands. There's optimism that arts and culture can be used to create jobs and prosperity.
You can see how Liverpool did that successfully, and it's about changing people's perception of the city, and that's half the battle of getting people to do inward investment into the city, is them understanding it's a place to want to invest in.
Describing itself as the quirky bidding city, Hull finds out next month whether it's down to the final four, and it'll be hoping to finally cut those ties with Hull and Halifax. Paul Murphy, BBC Look North in Hull.
Well, joining me now is Professor Martin Goodman, who's made a documentary for Radio 4 about culture in the north. He's also part of the committee for Hull's bid. Professor, good evening to you. Nice to see you. That word quirky keeps coming up. Has Hull got a real chance?
It's got every chance. It's got enthusiasm, for one. It's got lots of little things that have been happening for forever that haven't been stitched together in a way. So this is actually harnessing that enthusiasm and bringing it together in something that just puts on a show. It's strutting its stuff. That's part of what it's about.
What will the decision makers, the judges, what will they actually be looking for on the bids?
This isn't about cities that are already out there in the ranks of sort of London and Liverpool. It's those that have real potential. So they're seeing that there is, first of all, some enthusiasm behind the bid, that there is a pattern of things happening already. That's one of the things that they like. So we had the Larkin toads all around the city. That's part of quirky. But it's also the way that the whole populace sort of rode on the toads and took photographs with the toads and visited the toads. It's seeing what the city has done in the past.
Question, isn't it? What is culture? I mean, it's a difficult one to answer, isn't it, really? Have we got it? Have we got it in enough here to do it?
We have. The show I've done, What is Culture, it features the deep, and the culture there is actually fish, because you're bringing in families to actually see what we have in abundance here already. So from the Terry Farrell's The Deep, you cross the bridge into the Old Town. Yeah. We've got a striking museum quarter. We've got the Ferrans Art Gallery. We've got culture by the bucket loads, and just the idea is now to attract people into it and discover the secrets that are already
and just
here.
Being pessimistic for one moment, if we don't do it, just bidding benefits itself.
Absolutely, it gives confidence. People think, well, why are we bidding, first of all, and then they get confidence in that they're worth it. They're bidding because they're worth it, because Hull is actually a great city.
In a word, can we win?
We can.
Good evening. Hull's bid to become the UK's City of Culture has received a major boost with the news that it has made the final shortlist. Hull will now compete against Dundee, Leicester and Swansea for the right to become the nation's culture capital in 2017. If Hull is successful, it could be the biggest boost to the city's economy in decades. Here's our political editor, Tim Iredale.
This is BBC Radio Humberside.
Hull has made it through to the final four for the UK's City of Culture.
It was the news many had been hoping for, confirmation that Hull remains a key player in the race to become the UK's City of Culture in 4 years' time.
This is absolutely fantastic news, and what we really need to do now is show the committee that we are a truly cultural city with lots of things to offer and lots of reasons why people should come and visit us.
Hull is now up against Dundee, Leicester and the bookies' favourite Swansea Bay. If Hull's successful, it'll lead to £11 million worth of investment, with 1,500 events taking place, including 25 festivals.
Hull has a huge range of different cultural organisations in the city. It's well known for its culture, things like the Hull Truck Theatre Company and so on. Cultural organisations will have come together and probably demonstrated that becoming the UK City of Culture could leave a lasting legacy for Hull.
One of the problems the city's always had is perception, but if you get people here, perceptions change, and that's hopefully one of the things the bid will do, is that more people with national media coverage that we've had will come to the city.
Now the hard work begins to see off those other 3 cities, but the team behind Hull's bid say they believe they've got what it takes to secure the final nomination.
Now we have to say, OK, what do we need in place for this to work? We need the hotels to be as we want them, we need ticketing, really kind of sounds a bit boring stuff, but actually that's some of the stuff that we need to know that we've got in place.
So what does this mean for the people who live in a city where so often the chips have been down?
Need something to bring people into the city.